A top rabbi says that Tunisia's president has apologized after making anti-Semitic comments accusing Jews of being behind the economic and political instability in the country. Tunisia is in crisis. The total lack of tourism due to the coronavirus pandemic led the economy to drop more than 20% in the second quarter of 2020 compared to the year before. Tunisia has experienced deteriorating public services with a worsening economic and political crisis due to the pandemic. In a Facebook video posted earlier this week, the president said Jews are sitting around and stealing, and it's to blame for a lot of the recent problems. With us now is Sarah Feuer. Sarah is with the North African expert with INSS. Thank you so much for being with us. What's going on in Tunisia? I understand the economy is worsening. There's a political battle between the prime minister and the president. So once again, do we see Jews being blamed for the country's woes?
So I would just urge a little bit of caution. There's a bit of mixed information coming out about this video that had been posted. There was a group that actually went back and tried to rewind the footage, and there's questions as to whether he actually referred to Jews. But the president is on record in the past as having said, for example, that Jews are welcome to come to Tunisian sites so long as they have no connection to Israel. So, there are reasons for concern. I think more generally, the country right now is reeling from what has since last Friday been nightly rioting on the part of mostly teenagers who are looking around and seeing that the economic deterioration is leaving them with very, very few prospects. And so we're seeing a real deterioration of the sort of the general stability that Tunisia had more or less enjoyed in the last few years.
Well, Tunisia is relatively new to democracy in the democratic system of government. I mean, it's one of the few examples in the wake of the Arab Spring that moved to a democratic system. Is this the first true test now, a decade later, of how well it will hold up amid crisis?
So Tunisia has actually weathered several tests in the last decade. I mean, the whole political transition almost completely came off the rails in 2012 and 2013. They were able to get back on track. There have been bouts of social unrest, such as the one we're seeing now, where you've had similar grievances on the part of mostly young, unemployed Tunisians who look at the situation and acknowledge all of the political progress. It's true, Tunisia today is really the only functioning, if messy, democracy in the region. But on the other hand, the economic situation for many citizens has worsened. So, you have a lot of Tunisians questioning now, not so much the legitimacy of the uprising 10 years ago, but questioning, sort of what went wrong here? Why is it that political liberalization did not bring with it economic improvement?
The separation of powers between the prime minister and president, this battle seems to be intensifying, correct, in Tunisia?
Yeah, although there too, this isn't an entirely new script. We have seen this. So I mentioned earlier that there had been a near death of the political transition process in 2012 and 2013. One of the compromises that got everybody to calm down and got the political process back on track was essentially to devise a balance of power between the presidency and the prime minister. But that balance has often meant that both offices are competing. And so you've seen, whereas before the uprising of a decade ago, most of the political power really lay in the office of the presidency. Today, that's not the case. The prime minister does enjoy serious authorities, and therefore I think you're seeing more clashes between the offices. I think there's also a personal element of the current conflict between the two men.
Thank you so much for breaking down the latest situation. I really appreciate your expertise and being part of the program.
Thanks for having me.